Thank you for that beautiful prelude. Hello and welcome to our service. We are the Rogue Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, or ROOF, in Ashland, Oregon. My name is Teddy Milligan, and I'm a part of ROOF for many reasons, one of which is I believe that hearing your varying perspectives and being inspired by the messages I hear here helps to make me a better person. We're happy to welcome you to our service, both online and in person. We want to thank the members of the stream team who are helping make the online service happen, and the members of the neighborhood team who welcome the on-site congregation and provide coffee hour. We invite you to sign up for our mailing list on roof.org. You will receive a weekly email that gives you all the information you need to make your decision about whether you'd like to join us on Sunday morning on-site or online. You will also hear about the other wonderful things going on at ROOF. I've been asked to make an announcement regarding our Ukrainian family living in Emerson House. The deadline for them to leave is March 31st. They have not been able to secure housing. They need housing for 6 months from April to September. So if you know of anything that's available, please let us know. I believe Louis Perret is would love to get that information. We're glad you're with us for this service, and we invite you to join us in our mission, embracing diversity, empowering connection, and engaging in the work. We begin each service by acknowledging that our building is built on land that began as sacred land by the Cow Creek, Umpqua, Takilma, Shasta, and Lagawa people. We remind ourselves that Indigenous people are part of our communities and continue to experience the effects of colonization. We are committed to fighting for the worth and dignity of people of color, both in our own community and around the world. These services are a part of that work. Welcome and thank you for being with us.
I'm Alex Lucas, and it is my pleasure and privilege to be a part of this service at ROOF and to add my welcome to Teddy's. I'm so glad that you made time to be with us. Our chalice lighting words today are from the Reverend Peter Rabel. We light this chalice as a symbol of our faith, the light of truth, the warmth of love, and the fire of commitment. In this community, we honor many paths, many beliefs, and many ways of naming what is holy. May this flame remind us that we need not think alike to love alike, and that our shared search for meaning is stronger than any single answer.
Please join me in our opening song today, number 23, in your gray hymnal. Bring many names. My mic is on now. Please rise and body your spirit. Oh yes, we are going to sing verses 1 and 6.
Living, loving God. Good morning. I'm Adrienne Simmons with the Anti-Racism Team, and I want to start with a question. Last week, our speaker was Gina Duquesne, and she spoke about being an American. Was anyone else struck by that? Since then, I've been thinking about two phrases. One is a fish in water, where you feel comfortable, like a fish is perfectly suited to water, compared with being a fish out of water, which describes being out of place. When Gina mentioned talking with friends a few weeks ago about being an American, she shared all the ways she's been described in her life: colored, Negro, Black, African American, Black American. But when she went to Europe and was approached, she'd sometimes be asked, "You're American?" As a white person in this country, I get to be a fish in water. I'm always considered American without any qualifier. It made me think of the first U principle that I believe in so strongly: the inherent worth and dignity of each person. My vision is that one day we are all fish in water.
It is our practice each time we gather to light a candle for peace. We light this candle for peace in our cities where every person deserves safety and belonging. We light it for peace in our nation where listening and healing are still so sorely needed. We light it for peace among all peoples in a world longing for justice and freedom from fear. May this flame remind us that peace begins within us and moves outward through our words and our actions. Let us embrace this light together in silence and in hope.
We won't be reading a story today, so let's sing our children out now.
Please remain seated for our centering song, which is in your teal hymnal number 1066, "O Brother Sun." We'll do both verses.
Sins and move, you heal and bless.
We come to this space carrying many beliefs about God or no God, about life's meaning, its purpose, and what happens after this life. Some of these beliefs are deeply held, shaped by experience, tradition, study, or struggle. Others are still forming or quietly changing. Difference does not mean division. Believing differently does not mean we are strangers to one another. Beneath our varied answers live the same enduring questions. Who am I? Why am I here? How shall we live together? We may speak different languages of faith, science or scripture, metaphor or mystery, certainty or doubt, but we are often pointing towards similar human longings for connection, for meaning, for dignity, for love. Understanding does not require agreement. It asks only that we listen with curiosity, that we honor the stories behind the beliefs, and that we remember our shared responsibility to one another. In this community, we practice living with difference, not by erasing it, but by holding it with respect, humility, and care.
Our choir piece today is called A Native American Prayer, and the lyrics are actually in one of your inserts if you'd like to follow along a little bit.
The phrase, "this I believe," may seem familiar to some of you, as it was originally a 5-minute program hosted by journalist Edward R. Murrow from 1951 to 1955 on CBS Radio Network. The show encouraged both famous and everyday people to write short essays about their own personal motivation in life and then read them on the air. This, I believe, became a cultural phenomenon that stressed individual belief rather than religious dogma. Its popularity both developed and waned within the era of U.S. Senator Joseph McCarthy and the Cold War. Since then, a variety of revivals have been hosted on different networks. A half-hour European version of This I Believe ran from 1956 to 1958 over Radio Luxembourg and has since been revived numerous times in recent years. It seems that people are quite interested in this topic. So today we explore what it means to believe and why that question still matters. Why do you believe what you believe? Not just the quick answer, but the deeper one. What experiences, questions, relationships, doubts, or moments of insight have shaped the beliefs you carry about religion, God, the meaning or purpose of your life, or what happens after we die? All of us hold beliefs, whether we consciously name them or not. Some are small and everyday, others reach into the deepest parts of our lives. Over time, beliefs may come from family, culture, spiritual traditions, personal experience, or a gradual accumulation of questions and discoveries. They may change, evolve, or remain unresolved. And that, too, is part of being human. Rather than assuming there is one correct answer, today's service begins from a place of honest inquiry. We acknowledge that our beliefs are shaped by many influences, and that reflecting on them, why we hold them, how they guide us, and whether they still serve us, can be a meaningful and even a sacred practice. This morning, you will hear from several members of our community, each speaking from their own lived experience. They will share how they think about life and perhaps what means most to them. It could be faith, doubt, science, personal rights, God, or the possibility of an afterlife. Not as final answers, but as personal reflections along an ongoing journey. Our hope is not that you will agree with every perspective, but that something you hear may spark reflection, recognition, or a new question of your own. In that spirit, we invite you to listen with openness, curiosity, and respect for the diversity of beliefs among us and for your own evolving understanding. The first to speak today is Alan Hirsch.
Good morning. Good morning. In 1653, William Drewsbury, a Quaker minister in England, said, "The gift of life is inseparably united to the promise of death. On no other terms is life ever given." I don't view this as a sad statement, nor even a religious one. I actually view it as an optimistic statement. The odds of any one of us being born are estimated to be 1 in 400 trillion. We are the fortunate few who, by chance, have been given the brief opportunity to be conscious in the universe that surrounds us. I am an atheist. I believe that life ends with death. My father used to say we're like ants scurrying around. Harsh. But whether you believe that or not, we're not useless, and there is more that one can believe about the time we have as we're scurrying around the planet. Keeping death in mind adds clarity. Caitlin Doughty, in the book Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, said, "Death is the engine that keeps us running, giving us the motivation to achieve, learn, love, and create." For me, understanding that life ends with death, that there's no heaven or hell or hereafter, reminds me of the gift of life that we have been given, and allows me to concentrate on doing and being active today. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, On Death and Dying, wrote, "There's no need to be afraid of death. It's not the end of the physical body that should worry us. Rather, our concern must be to live while we are alive. Every individual human being is born on this earth with the capacity to become a unique and special person, unlike anyone who has ever existed before or will ever exist again. But to the extent that we are captives of culturally defined roles, expectations, and behaviors, stereotypes, not ourselves, we block our capacity of self-actualization. We interfere with our becoming all we can be. I ask myself often, what am I doing here? Not in the physical sense of place, but with my life. When I ask that, I remember the gift of life given each of us is unique and fleeting. This is a 1 in 400 trillion opportunity. So if you ever thought you would never win a lottery, you're wrong. You are wrong. That makes it clear to me that life is really only meaningful if we use our time wisely, acting in deeds, not just words, helping fellow humans alleviate suffering and injustice so that our scurrying around is not so painful for humans. It also means, of course, taking time to enjoy this wonderful world that we are awake in. Albert Camus said, "Real generosity toward the future lies in giving all to the present." But I am always thinking, what am I doing here? I ask it often. And I would like to end with a reminder by Walter Payton, a football player, for the Chicago Bears, who in quitting announced to his team that he had a rare and curable liver cancer at the height of his career, and he died almost immediately afterward. But the final sentence he said to his team and the nation was to remember, tomorrow is promised to no one. The most powerful statement I've ever heard. Yes, the gift of life is given with the irrevocable guarantee of death, but we are uniquely given this gift. We need to use it in meaningful ways to help the world while we have this precious time. This, I believe.
Thank you, Alan. Now we have Kathy Travis, who will, she will share a personal passion that she believes in.
Good morning. Good morning. As noted, I'm Kathy Travis, and I believe in reproductive freedom. In 1972, way before my lawyer days, I got a job as a welfare worker at Halifax Social Services in Nova Scotia. My caseload consisted of about 90 one-parent family households, and all the heads of these families were female, including a large number of teenagers. I learned that many of my teenage parents believed the myth that douching after sex would protect them from pregnancy. So I tried my best to obtain and provide accurate information to those who did not want to have any more children or just wanted a better understanding of reproduction. So some of these educational materials were provided to me by the Metro Area Family Planning Association. What happened next was that one of my teenagers came to me and said, "I'm pregnant again." And she did not want another child. She wanted to go back to school and provide a better life for the child she had. She asked me, "Could you help me, please?" Getting an abortion was illegal in Canada, just as it was then in nearly all of the US. But I knew New York State allowed abortion, and I knew of a New York City clinic that performed abortions. In this time period, my parents lived in New York City. So I called my mother, explained the situation, and asked that if I were able to get an appointment for this teenager to have an abortion at this clinic, could she and my dad assist by letting this teenager stay overnight with them and getting her to and from the clinic appointment. And then I would arrange the transportation of her to New York City and back to Halifax. I had no idea how my parents would respond, particularly given the fact that my grandmother, an immigrant, had tried but failed to abort my mom by jumping off a kitchen table. She lived, obviously, I'm the daughter thereof, afterwards. Nevertheless, my parents did agree, and everything went according to plan. I have to admit, I was afraid that I would be found out, and I was scared of what that would entail. What were the repercussions? What could they be? Did I need to leave work? Would I be fired? Had I broken the law? I might even be jailed, I thought, or even deported. But more importantly, would I do the same again? And that was the question I asked myself over and over. And when I admitted to myself that I probably would, I knew I needed to find another job. 4 months later, I saw a job posting at the Metro Area Family Planning Association to fill a short-time assignment as part of a team to assess reproductive needs in Halifax by conducting extensive community interviews and compiling our findings. And I applied and I got the job. In the mail last week, I received my yearly membership card and solicitation from Planned Parenthood. The membership card notes that I have been a President's Circle member since April 14th, 1983. I still do and always will believe in reproductive freedom.
Thank you, Kathy. Now we have Renee Getz, whose recent year-long experience has broadened the way she thinks about us and life and the world. Renee?
Good morning. Good morning. On January 20th, 2025, I left the United States to travel as a full-time, solo, older female. Instead of beginning my second year of full-time travel on January 7th, 2026, I returned to Ashland to get medical attention for my back. In 2025, I traveled to 11 capital or primary cities in 9 countries, staying between 2 weeks and 4 months at each location. I learned how to use the public transportation system and read directional signs, what to shop for in supermarkets and how to weigh the food, how to say hello, goodbye, please, and thank you. Much of my travel was in non-English speaking countries. Oh sure, there are apps to help me order a car and get me from point A to point B, to show me the way to walk to the subway station, which train to take, which car to sit in on the train so that I leave the train to the closest exit and get to my direct destination easily. There are apps for translation or figuring out how much something costs in US dollars while I paid for it in the local currency, to reading a menu so that I knew what I was ordering. But really all that's on the surface with traveling, and trust me, there's an app for everything. But what is deeper than the surface of my traveling was when I was in Tirana, Albania. I slipped off a curb, I didn't fall, and then a man asked in Albanian, is something about if I needed help, was I okay? I really don't know exactly because of what he said, because I don't understand Albanian. When I said in English, I'm okay, he then asked me in English, do I need water? Or the woman at a single track line outside of Edinburgh who showed me, unbidden, how to use the ticket machine, making sure I took both my outbound and return tickets. She then rode with me into the city center, accompanied me out of the station, and directed me to the Apple store. Or the pharmacist in Edinburgh who drew me a map and gave me the full contact information of a nearby clinic for a same-day appointment. Or when I emailed the tourist office in Vilnius, Lithuania, and inquired about COVID and flu vaccinations and received in a reply email the link of a clinic where I registered online for my vaccinations appointment. Or the multitude of days when I wandered around the cities I was visiting, chatting with others, most often wait staff, or becoming a part of expat communities, meeting up with other nomads when our locations overlapped and we would have coffee, meals, and trade tips and ideas on how to travel full-time as a nomad. Because I am the age of my hair color, I have become invisible, but this turns out to be my superpower. Wandering about, I never once felt completely obvious as a tourist, and this was evidenced when one day I was asked something, or this was evidence when I was asked something on 2 separate days by 2 separate local Parisian women who must have thought I looked like a local too. And unfortunately, I couldn't help with their inquiries because I don't speak French. During my year of full-time travel, I never felt uneasy. I never felt taken advantage of, Pickpockets did not approach me. The differentness of languages did not matter. In a short time frame, I stopped worrying for my person. I found help when I needed it all along the way. People conversed with me and didn't care that I held an American passport. It wasn't about me, and political conversations really never got off the ground. We hear and read and see terrible things that happen all over the world, and they're real. I may have visited only a small fraction of the globe, but I spoke here this morning to tell you this is what I believe after 1 year of full-time travel. Sorry. I believe the world is full of good people. Yes. I believe the world is safe for traveling, war zones notwithstanding. And this is important for me, as I fully intend to go back out traveling, because there's a whole world out there, and I'm going to go look at it.
Thank you, Renee. And finally, it's not fair if I've asked these three people to speak and to not share my thoughts with you. So here I am, a product of the flip of a cosmic coin. And I believe deeply, unmistakably, that I am. And yet physicists tell us something astonishing, that the sum total of all the energy in the universe, particles and antiparticles, matter and vacuum, something and void, adds up to zero. Nothing. Does that trouble me? No. If anything, it makes me feel lucky, because here we are, conscious, aware. Another improbable flip of that same cosmic coin. We are part of an unfolding something, vast, mysterious, and still evolving as we watch. Is consciousness something contained in each of us, or does it permeate everything? One awareness bearing witness to itself through stars, oceans, and human lives. I don't know, and I believe it's okay not to know. So if in the end it all amounts to nothing, what's the meaning of life, the universe, and everything? Is it 42, calculated by the ultimate computer in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Well, maybe. I believe the answer is simpler than that. I believe the meaning of life is to enjoy being, to experience what it means to be alive on this astonishing planet we call Earth, to bear witness to beauty, to wonder, to one another. Does that sound frivolous, irresponsible? No, I don't think so, because with that freedom comes responsibility. The responsibility to make sure that everyone has a chance to experience that same joy of being. A world where no one worries about their next meal, where no one fears freezing on the streets, where dignity is not a privilege, but a promise. I believe we are all in this together, a single shared consciousness, with each of us an outpost, unique, temporary, but essential. And that makes us responsible for one another. And what happens when I die? I believe the ego, the name, the role, the boundaries that define me will fall away. But the experiences, the love, the hopes, and the dreams I have lived will endure as part of the larger whole. Infinity minus one is still infinity. But today I am grateful to be here, alive, aware, sharing this beautiful Sunday morning with you. On the third Sunday of the month, we choose to give our offering to an organization we see putting our mission and values into action in the world. This month, that organization is Peace House. We have here today Megan Wade to tell us about their work. If you are joining us online, you will soon see instructions for giving on your screen. If you are in the Great Hall, you can place your gift in the offering baskets we will soon pass, or use the QR code on the back of the order of worship to give electronically. If you need support, please contact your caring team using the form on roof.rvuuf.org. They will get back to you as soon as possible to find out more. We will now give and receive our morning offering.
Alex, don't you want to have her to speak?
I think Megan wants to.
Oh, Megan. Didn't mean to cut you out there.
Thank you. And it's just Meg is good, and I use they, them pronouns. For folks, I know that's new for some, but let me know if you want to give that a try or you have questions about that. I'm going to respond to this prompt that you all are doing because it's such a beautiful prompt to share a little bit about the work at Peace House, because I am uncertain about a lot of my own beliefs, but one thing I do believe very deeply, and that is in the notion of calling. It's the possibility of your life path and of your next step coming through the work of spirit, coming through the arrangement of other things out there beyond your own control, something that you would never rationally plan. I have no other way to explain how I ended up in the director role of Peace House earlier this year than that. And it's also been the source of many of the greatest experiences of my life, is following a calling that 3 minutes ago didn't exist, but I hear. So I want to share about our work, but I want to invite you to listen for a call to see if any of these particular pieces reach you in a moment, and if that's going to help you move the course of your life over this coming year. Listen, please. So one of the things that we're most well known for at Peace House right now is our regular Tuesday hot meal program, Uncle Food's Diner, which we've been doing for over 30 years, and we have been serving hot food to over 80 people each week here in Ashland each Tuesday. Right now we serve at 4:30 out of Trinity Church here in downtown. We really need more volunteers for that program because the need keeps growing as SNAP gets disrupted, as things are more difficult, but also as folks are feeling the stress of this moment in time. Our diners are coming up with a little more agitation. So we really are in need of community members to come and sit and be calm presences and enjoy a meal. We have great food. So I would invite any of you who are looking for a way that is just showing up and being present to consider coming to our meal on Tuesdays and helping us do that work of meeting other folks with love and kindness and hot food. Our history, as many of you know at Peace House, is that we come out of the nuclear freeze movement and the work against nuclear weapons in the 80s, which was successful, right? We stopped building so many nuclear weapons. It was amazing, but we're in a moment of challenge around that as the last existing treaty between the US and Russia, the New START treaty, expired earlier this month. So that work is something that we are going to be picking up once again, looking to meet those challenges. It took direct action. It took millions of people in the streets around the country. It took a whole lot of work. But I invite you into that if you are wondering what to do in a time when we face so many existential crises. We have a very specific one that we have worked on in our community and we have such a legacy for here. So I invite you into that. Reach out, connect with our Prevent War team. That's our history. My new goal for Peace House coming in this year, I'm very inspired by the work of places like Highlander Center. Are folks familiar with Highlander Center? It's the place where individuals like Rosa Parks and Dr. King who are trained up to do the work that they did in the civil rights movement. It is a hub for strategy, for community building, for learning. It's still there in Tennessee, comes out of the labor movement, was a backbone institution of the civil rights movement. And I think that for us to meet the challenges of our times, we need to skill up and we need to have tighter bonds, greater strategy, and greater tools than we've had before. So I invite you into that. I'm getting a time signal, but I have one event I do want to highlight from up here. Because as part of our training and community building together, we've been doing a series of events this weekend called Justice is Love in Public. That's a Dr. Cornel West quote. Justice is love in public, just as tenderness is what love feels like in private. We've been exploring that in many different ways. We have one final event happening tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. at Peace House. It is from President's Day to July 4th. We're going to be rethinking federal holidays because if you might guess that there are some real racist, awful things in the works for July 4th this year coming out of the White House. And we're going to talk about how we can do that differently in our community, how we can think about our communal celebrations differently so that we can begin transforming our culture together. So I invite you to that on Monday. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Okay, am I on? Now I can say it, right? We will now give and receive our morning offering. Thank you for these and all the other gifts you give to this fellowship and our community.
We have a closing hymn.
today are from A Chosen Faith by Reverend Dr. Forrest Church. Human beings have always sought meaning in the face of mystery. Across time and culture, we have told different stories, used different names, and shaped different rituals to express our sense of belonging to something larger than ourselves. The world's religions are many paths, not because truth is many, but because human experience is. Each tradition speaks from a particular place, shaped by history, culture, and language, yet all reach toward the same enduring questions of meaning, purpose, and connection. No one religion holds all wisdom. Each tradition offers insights, and each has blind spots. Together, they remind us that truth is greater than any single expression of it. To be faithful, then, is not to cling to certainty, but to remain open, open to learning, open to change, open to the possibility that the sacred speaks in many voices. We extinguish our chalice with the words of Thich Nhat Hanh and Rumi. We are not here to worship one tradition over another, but to touch what is deepest in ourselves and in each other. The lamps are different, but the light is the same.
Please join hands across the aisles and sing with us.
We shall go out in joy, we shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace. Blessed be, for we shall go out in joy, for we shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace. Blessed be.
Good job. Good job. When you did your thing on Italy, I'm scared to hear how many did you hear what
Gina DeCane, our speaker last week,